Hi, I'm Paul Seal from CodeShare.co.uk. Welcome to episode 4 of my series, How to Build a Content Managed Website in Umbraco using version 7.6.5. So we're on episode 4 and we've got so far, and I want to, on this episode, show you how to make the content editable. So at the minute we just did a couple of things, just showing you how to use document type composition in the last episode. And what I want to do on this episode is to build on that and make more of the content editable. So we're going to add a rich text editor on the content page. We're going to make the home page image, title and subtitle and link editable. We're going to make the footer text editable, and we're going to make the footer social links editable. So let's get started then. So we need to go into our Visual Studio project, click on the Run button, and then run without debugging. We don't need to debug at this stage. So that's going to open up the website on localhost, and we are going to be faced with our reflex template that we're using. So here we are, this is the template. So what we're going to make editable today, the homepage text up here and this link and that there. And we're going to make the footer text in here editable, and also the links in here editable as well. And on the content page we're going to make this part editable because we've already made this bit editable here. So if we go to /generic, I think it was. So here we go. So we've got the title, subtitle, image and that. And one thing we can do on this with the image is shrink the image down. So if we saw on this, the ratio for this image was, I'm sure it was something like 1024 by 477. So with Umbraco there is something called an image cropper built into it, made by Jim Bob Squarepants, I think, from GitHub. So basically Umbraco uses it. It's a first-class citizen of Umbraco now, and it has been for a while. But so what we can do on where we've got this header part, so if we go into the content template, where we've got the image coming through, we can do this. So width 1024, height 477, I think it said. Do 478. So we change that, and mode equals crop and anchor equals center. So where we had on the last episode the .url, we just do a plus and then add this string here. So query string width equals 1024 and height equals 478 and mode equals crop and anchor equals center. If we save that, refresh the page on generic, we will see that the image has been cropped. So the original image didn't look that letterbox shape like that, but using this image cropper, it's enabled us to, just by using the query string parameters, we've been able to change the size of that image. And also that helps with the load on the site as well, if you've got a smaller image being loaded down rather than a 4000 wide image as it is at the source. So that's the first thing about this content page. So let's get on to making this content here editable. Now normally I would just always use the content grid. So content grid allows you to have rows and columns and things like that inside the content. This is a simple template and as such isn't calling for that, because if we just look at this, we've just got p tags here. So it's just very basic. And for the purpose of this, we don't need to do that with the rich text editor, with the content grid. If it comes to it that we create some pages that do need that, then I will show you how to implement the content grid. But if not, we're just going to go ahead just using a rich text editor. So what we're going to do to add this rich text editor is go to the website address /Umbraco. I'm going to log into this. Luckily I remembered my password, and then I'm going to go to document type. So in settings, document types, compositions. So I'm going to create a new content document type called content controls. I'm going to call it basic content controls. And on this, I'm going to have a tab called content. I'm going to have a property called main content. Enter the main content for this page in here. I'm going to choose an editor, so I'll click on that and I always go to reuse. And I'm going to look for rich text, rich in there, rich text editor. It's not mandatory, so I'm going to hit submit. I'm just going to save that. Now, if we go to the content page where we want to use this, so if I do compositions and then choose basic content controls, submit that and save. Now when we go to the content page, we should have that on there. So now under the other ones, this is a bit annoying that they are in the wrong order. I'm going to try and address that, but for now let's just have a look at this. So main content, hello, this is some content to go in the main body of the page. This is another paragraph, etc., etc. So if I save and publish that now, we'll be able to get that content to render on the front end. Okay, so I've added my content, saved and published. Now I need to just add this onto the page. So it's as simple as @umbraco.field, and then I'll just put the property name in. So this is main content, and that's it. And that will render it for me. Now if it doesn't come out properly, we shall see, but let's just have a look at this then. So refresh should return it as an HTML string basically. So what we get there, it should be a couple of P's. That's it. It's as easy as that. So all I did was @Umbraco field main content. Dead easy. So now we've got that. I think from when I was looking at this, just going back to this P tag here, subtitle, I think you can. It's got a choice to wrap these. So we've got insert before and insert after and things like that. You can format with a separator. Let's just go to the options. So if we go into the templates and go onto the content template, and we'll use this insert here. I'm just thinking like this H1, there might have been a way, so rather than having H1 on there, of doing something like, so I'll try and add the page title fallback again, so value, choose a field, page title, add a fallback, page name. Right, format as date, blah blah blah, so I don't want to go recursive, insert before the field value, insert after. So what I could possibly do is H1 like this, and then closing H1. Let's just see how that works. And then we'll remove that one for now. Oh, just to show you, if you want to comment out in Umbraco, you can do @star, and then at the end do *@. So that leaves the code on the page but commented out, so it won't be rendered. Now let's refresh the page and see if it's caused a problem by doing that with the H1. So no, it's not caused a problem, and it's put the H1 before it and after it. So the opening and closing H1. So that's interesting. Just thought I'd share that with you. So if we wanted to, we can do the same thing on this P tag here. So I'll change that to be a P, change that to be a P, and then we can delete that and delete that. So it's now just coming from the call for the field. So save that, refresh, and it should still look fine. Yeah, so now we've got the title, subtitle, image and content render in there. So let's move on to before we go onto the home page, actually we'll go onto the home page now for the title and everything like that. So we've already decided that on the home page, so on here we've got a title, we've got a subtitle. So we've already got two properties, and on the home page, what have we got? We've got two properties, a title and a subtitle. The extra things we've got is an image, but really we've got an image on the other page, so we could possibly use that property. And we've got this link here as well for get started. So all I might need to add is just this get started, because I can reuse this. We're using document type composition, reuse this and reuse this. So let's go into home and click on compositions, and I'm going to choose basic title controls, main title image controls, and basic content controls, actually, because I want to pull in the content, because although the template doesn't have it on here, I think it'd be nice to have an opportunity for some content just after. So I'm going to have that on there as well. So I'll click on submit and save. Now we can go into the home page, and we've got these on here. So the main image, so let's just do the same eyelashes image for now. So I'm going to pick that from here. The title, I love lashes. The main content, the classic welcome to I love lashes. Extensions, oh no, eyelash extensions training. Website. And then we'll go to loremipsum.net. Grab a bit of lorem ipsum, make it look a bit better, fill it out. Apparently lorem ipsum translates some sort of love story, so I hear. I did a Google Translate on it once. Right. Subtitle, for some reason it's down there. It's a little bit annoying, but I can deal with that. So again, it's a bit of lorem ipsum. So I love lashes, oh right, yeah. I love lashes, and then we'll do eyelash extensions training in there. Got terrible typing today, sorry about that, guys and girls. Let's go to, right, so I've added the content on the home page, but that's not going to render. Reason being, I've not done anything on so I'll say yes to all. Oh, that's just bringing in those changes that I did on the online editor that I didn't do on the page, but because the page was open in Visual Studio, it needed to update the page, that's fine. So if we go into home, we've got content intro. So let's have a look at what intro is. Content and then intro. Right, so we have the image and everything like that. So what can we do? We can reuse what we've already got. So we're going to pull through these and put them in there. So H1. So we've got the page title and the subtitle. We've pulled those through. That was simple. And let's have a look on the front end. I think the image is going to be ruined here, but we'll see. I've not put the image on yet, but I love lashes, eyelash extensions training. Right, it's starting to come to life now. Let's see if we can get that image working. So go to content and where we did the code for the image URL. So if model.content has image, let's just copy all this and do a block at the top of this. So I don't need the layout part because that's being used in a view, not a partial view. Model.content doesn't translate, so we need to do Umbraco.assigned content item. That is the same. So now I can copy that and put it in there. This is why instead of doing @model on my partial views, I like to do @inherits Umbraco view page, because then you can have the model. So whatever I pass in here, I can have access to that model, but I can also have the model from the Umbraco page that you're working with as well. So it's a useful thing to do. Now the image on this one, let's have a look at what size it's coming in at. So this is 336. So I want to bring that image that I'm pulling through in at 336 by 336. So it's going to be a square used as a circle, and it should just work. So get main image URL, and I'll just change this here to be @main image URL. Fingers crossed that it just works. Oh, look at this. I love lashes. Amazing. So then we've got the link to do. So so in the latest version of Umbraco, they've changed how they work with related links. So if you've been working with Umbraco before, prior to 7.6, you will have been using the related links property probably. And in this version, it's called related links 2. So if we go into document types, we want to create. I think what I might do is add it to the basic title controls. So I'm going to add a property called something like title link, and then enter a link in here if you want to show a link under the title and subtitle. So for my friend's website, she might want a link to say, book now, book your training now, or something like that. So I could do book now link, and that could go to the contact form or something like that. It could go straight down. So we will do add editor, reuse, and I want related links. And then click on that, then click on save. So because I've added it to this composition doc type, and this doc type is being used for content and home, it will automatically appear on the home page. So I'll have a link here, so I could do book now, and then I could just have a link down to the anchor. So let's just have a look what the anchor is for the footer. So is there an ID? It's just called footer, so let's just do that. So hashtag footer, and do add. So that's the related links control. So I'm going to use the text in the button there, and I'm going to use the link URL where this has got hashtag. It will be hashtag footer. That will make the page go down to the footer. So let's make that work. I'm sure it's something, right, I'm just going to have a go at it. So related link. Sorry if you don't think this is professional, that I've not done it before the video and then I'm just showing you through. What I like to do in my videos is show you what it's like to actually develop with it, rather than just do this, do that, do the other. I want you to see what I go through to develop something. See, I've done this before, but I'm not just going to look up the code that I've done. Well, A, because it's on a project that I don't really want to show the source code for, and B, because it's quite useful to see how I get to it. So it's going to be part of the core models, I think. So if we do using umbraco.core.models. Now I'm never sure if it's core models or web models, so I'm going to add a using statement for both. umbraco.web.models, and then there will be related link. So related link So the property that I'm getting from the page is a related link. So I need to get this related link. So I'm going to do related link title link equals, and then I want to do Umbraco.assigned content item. So that is like model.content if I was in a view. Get property value. And I think it comes back as a list of links, related links. So I'm going to do that, and then the name of it is title link, like that. And I'm going to say .first or default. So to get that related link, I've done title link. I've got the property called title link, which is in Umbraco. We should be able to see. It's called title link, so the naming convention is lowercase t, uppercase L, no space. And then first or default, because this will get me a list of it will get me a related links property, which is basically several links, because you can keep adding to those links. Let me show you. You can do add. So that's why it brings it back as like an enumerable of the links. So by doing first or default, it's saying that if there isn't one, or if there's a problem, it'll be empty. So we've got this title link now. So I'm just going to say in this part here, if title link is not equal to null and title link dot text or dot link, so and not string dot is null or empty, title link dot link. So if it did do a default on me, a default object, it might bring me just like an empty object. So I'm just making sure, so it wouldn't be null, but it might be empty text. So I'm making sure that the link's not empty. So if nothing about it is null or empty, then I'm going to render this footer part here, this link, and I want to use the URL part here. So I'm going to do @title link dot text, is it, or caption, and then that's actually, I want that to be the URL. Let me copy that. I'll use that here. That's the caption part, so that will be book now. And then in here I want to do dot link, is it? Just dot link. So @title link dot link. So I'm using this property that I got here and rendering it out there. So let's save that and see what happens. So hopefully this will update to say book now, and hopefully we don't get an error, a yellow screen of death, as we have. Right, so we're going to try something else. What we're going to do is do an enumerable of related link. Take off the S, and that will be related links. So I'll take off this. So it should be able to infer what the type is. I shouldn't need to. What? Type or namespace enumerable couldn't be found. Okay. I might need to do using system dot collections dot generic. Enumerable. I don't need to add that, it's already there. So enumerable related link title links, and then do Umbraco.assigned content item get property value. Cannot implicitly convert type object to enumerable, right? So I'll just put this inside the type part here. So open these two, paste that in there. Then we're saying related link title link equals null. If title links is not equal to null and title links.count is greater than 0, then we might have something. So let's do Control and F5 to run without debugging, and then just see what happens. So we don't have the link. Right, this is the point where I'm going to change the way that I'm working with this. So instead of using local IIS Express, instead of using IIS Express with the Control F5 or whatever, I'm going to actually just have the site running in IIS on my machine, and I'm going to attach to the process. So it's a bit deviating away, but it's just because of the development environment. It's just doing my head in. I don't like to work this way. I like to have the site running, and then when I have a problem, I attach to the process that's running. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. So first things first, I'm going to create the site in my IIS. So I'm just going to right click on sites, add website, and I'm just going to call this ELL. The physical path, I'm going to point to the folder where I've got the web project set up. So that would be /trunk/ell.web. So that's the folder I need to point to. Now, this is a trick that I learned today. There is a website called localtest.me, which means that you can do any website URL. So if you're doing a development website like this, I'll do ell.localtest.me, and it will point back to your machine. Rather than going out to the internet, it'll actually point back down to your local machine. So it basically points to localhost. I've done a website, a blog post about that, so you can have a look at that. It just saves messing about with your host file. And then one other thing we're going to do is just on the ell.web, we're just going to change the security. We're going to allow, sorry, I'm doing this too fast. So right click on ell.web, click on properties, security, edit, add, and then type in we'll do advanced, find, press I, we'll do IIS users, iUsers, and iUser. Click on OK, OK again, allow, modify, and the other one, allow, modify. Click on OK. That will assign those permissions to those files and folders. So now, if I want to see this site, all I have to do is go to ell.localtest.me and put HTTP in front, // So now that's going to run on my local machine, on my local IIS instance. So give that a minute to load up. And another thing that we can do as well is in Visual Studio, we can set the properties of this on the, so I've right clicked on the project, gone to properties, gone to web, and then instead of using IIS Express, use local IIS, and in there just put the URL that you chose, so ell.localtest.me, and save that. So now that can run. So here we are, we've got it running, ell.localtest.me. Brilliant. So now whenever I want to, I can just look at this site. I don't have to have it running in Visual Studio or anything like that. That's the benefits of doing it this way. Let's just see if the generic page loads. Yeah, so that loads as well. So going back to here, I'm glad I've done that because it was really annoying me working in that way. I don't work in that way usually. So what we want to do is we want to debug attach to process, and we want to show processes from all users and go to the one called ELL, or whatever you called your site in IIS. One thing to note, if it's not letting you do this, I'm running in administrator mode, and you can do that by clicking on Visual Studio, right clicking on the thing, and then run as administrator. You might need to do that if you want to work with local IIS. Anyway, so now I'm debugging, so I can refresh the home page, and then it pops up in debugging mode, and so it's saying that there are no title links. So I might have something wrong here. So it's saying that on the page, Umbraco assigned content item, there are no properties called title link, or so it says. So it's not that one, it's not this one, main image. So I've got title, link, there is a property, it's saying its value is nothing. I wonder if I've saved and published it properly. It's saying it's a related links, but it's saying it doesn't have a value. So I'm going to go back into the content. So I need to go into the home page and just see that the link was actually added. So after all of that, I never even added it. So I obviously didn't save changes. That is so frustrating. So I'm going to do book now. I'm going to do the link of footer, hashtag footer, click on add and save and publish. Now if I go to the front page, it's worked. All of that. Right, so loads fine on the home page now, and that book now, if I click on that, that just moves the page down to there. In future episodes I'll add some effects for making that scroll down nicely, but for now that's working. So yeah, we've got that link working, we've got the title, subtitle and link. Next, let's move on to the footer content. So in the home page, I want to add some footer controls. So I'm going to do a composition called footer content controls. And in this, I'm going to call the tab footer. And I'm going to do footer title, enter a title for the footer content. Reuse text string, submit, and then another one, footer content. Enter the content for the footer. And I'm going to do that as rich text. I'll choose rich text editor, submit that. And I'm going to do a related links property. So footer social links. Click on add editor, reuse, just type in and then get related links. Click on submit and save. So what that gives us is 3 properties, and I want to add this onto the home page, and I'm going to use reorder to make this go further towards the back. Maybe I'll set this to 8, because it's not something that you're going to want to always edit on the home page. It's probably something you rarely edit, so shove that to the back of all the tabs. So that I've made that reorder to 8. I'm done reordering. Save on that. Go into home, compositions, and choose footer content controls. Click on submit and then save. Now if I go into the home page, I should have an extra tab called footer, and then in there I can put in the details for the footer title. So I'll just put this the footer title in here, and then this is some content for the footer, whatever you want to say in a footer. And then my social links. Now what I've got on this page here, these are using Font Awesome for the icons. So one is Twitter, another one is Instagram, another one is Snapchat Ghost, and another one is GitHub. So what we can do is, if your client has these accounts, you can set it up. So what I'm going to do is, in the caption, I'm going to put the text part of the Font Awesome logo. So if you want to know a bit more about Font Awesome, go to fontawesome.io. You can also search for Font Awesome icons using a tool on my website, Font Awesome search tool. So if you wanted to see like Instagram, you can see what the code is for that. So I'm going to get this part here. So I'm going to do, the first one is Twitter. So we can search for Twitter on this tool. So that's FA Twitter. So they all start FA, so I'm just going to leave that like that. At the moment, I'm just going to make it go to twitter.com and new window and add. Next one, Instagram. I'm just going to do instagram.com. Click on new window and add. The next one is Snapchat. But if you noticed, when we look for Snapchat in here, it's the one with just the ghost. So I want to copy that as the caption. And I'll just do snapchat.com for now. But you can point these to the actual accounts. Click on add. And then there's one more, and that was GitHub. Maybe Facebook or something like that. I'll do facebook.com. Just check that it does exist. So yeah, there is a Facebook, so it'll just be the F of Facebook. Click on add. All right, save and publish. So we're going to get these two properties first, the footer title and content. So again, we're going to go into the views, partials, content, or site layout footer. So in the header part here, we're going to do @umbraco.field, put the property name in, so that would be footer title, and then we want to do before, is it? Insert before. I'm going to do, what was it? Let's just have a look, see what it was. H3. So I'll just redo all that. So I'll do opening H3 before, comma, insert after, closing H3. Notice that I'm switching between the online editor and the Visual Studio editor. You can do either, it's fine. Right, so that's put that one in there for me, and then I'm going to put the footer content in there. I'm not going to use the insert before or after, and I'm just going to do footer content there. Let's give that a refresh to see how they've taken effect. Hopefully we don't get any errors, because that should just be straightforward. It's pulling through what I said for this is the footer title and this is the content. And then we want to do the links. So we're inheriting from Umbraco view page. Let's steal some of the code that we did on intro for the related links. And this time I'm just going to copy footer, that first line and have it in one of these blocks here, and this will just be called footer links or footer social links. And then we're just going to check in the content editor, what did I call it? Footer social links. So the naming convention will be that. So I need to make sure I pull the right property in. It's complaining about the use of related links, so I'll do Umbraco, using Umbraco dot, is it core.models? Let's have a look. No, it doesn't like core, so it's obviously web. Web.models. It likes web. Now all the squiggly lines have gone, so now I should get a footer social links property. So I'm then going to say if footer social links is not equal to null, and it has some, I could do and any, or I like to do and count is greater than 0. Then I will render it in here. So what I'm going to do is for each of those in that, so for each related link in the footer social links property, grab one of these LIs, delete the others, save that. I want to do the URL to be @link.link property, I want the icon to be whatever the caption was, and I want the text part to be the caption as well. That's not as great, but the text doesn't actually get shown, so it's fine. And I also want target, so it will open in a new window. Usually you'd want them all to open in a new window, but if you want to do it based on whatever was picked with that true or false to open in a new window, you can do a new window there. So I can do in here just a little bit of logic to say, if it says new window, so link.new window question mark, and I can say blank underscore blank, otherwise null. Don't set it. Right, so that should also render the footer links for me now. So give that a refresh, and all of these should be set. They're not set for some reason. Did I forget to save and publish again? If I did, then I am a silly man. No, it doesn't like it for some reason. So for each link in footer social links, so Kale. Right, well, let's fix this spelling error for a start. And then fix it in there. So that will be what the problem is. I just spelt it wrong. So brilliant. It's pulled it through. So they've got a Twitter account, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. Click on any of these and they'll open in a new window and go to that page. So that's how you do the social links. Oops. So I think we've covered everything that was on the plan for today. So we've done the rich text editor, we've made the homepage text, image and things like that at the top editable, we've made the footer editable and the social links editable. So that's everything for this episode. I hope you liked this episode. If you did, please click on like, subscribe to my channel, and feel free to comment, ask any questions. If I've missed anything out or anything like that, feel free to leave it in the comments. And also share with others as well. If you know someone who will find learning Umbraco useful, or this newer version of Umbraco, please share it with those. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, bye.